Good morning. Somebody was talking to me last night about the Kanye thing because it's at the center of a lot of hubbub right now. And I could go into an argument or a debate about Kanye's legitimacy, if he's being handled, manipulated, if this is a legitimate push on him, if it's authentic. And I'll win any argument. But uh, I think that's what I told my friend basically was that that doesn't matter. That for our purposes, we want the public to be aware of the problems so that they can respond or defend themselves, so that they can be able to informed and uh, able to respond. I'm just repeating myself. I don't have to. Um, but then what next? Like the GDL is such that its mission statement is "Name the Jew or Die." Now, it just so happens to be that when you become fully aware or relatively aware of what the real problem is and how it's been, then you start to ask yourself questions and you analyze it and you go, well, what is a solution? And you, I would say, inevitably, eventually come to the conclusion that the solution resembles National Socialism. But is the GDL National Socialist? National Socialistic? Is it? Well, most of us adopt that ideology, but it's not. It's name the Jews. That's it. And people go, well, you let niggers in there, or you let wops in there. Well, let them in where? The whole thing's about telling anyone, anywhere, anytime the problem is X, and that you'll probably want to do something about X someday, but until you know about X, you're fucking asleep and lost in the sauce. And so, well, the people need to wear this uniform and they need to. No, okay, look, don't tell a flower it's a tree, and don't tell a dog it's a horse. The GDL is a campaign, a movement, an ideology, an idea, um, a hobby, an impromptu organization, a yokel militia, whatever you want to call it, a gangle of hooligans about one thing: spreading awareness, telling the truth. Now, we all have different MOs, and we all have different areas of effectiveness, but there is no office building that everybody in the GDL sits down, raises their hand, signs in, takes a test, pays dues, gets assigned a task. It doesn't work like that. And so the spirit of the GDL will always live on because the ever present threat of the Jew will always be there, and a need to inform them, because the Jewish threat is subversive, it's sneaky, it goes under the water, it waits for people to turn a blind eye, it moves in the peripheral. So the Jews existing will dictate a need for something like the GDL to exist, so it will always exist. But what comes after the Jews are named? Like, some guys would be like, well, I want the GDL to start dressing in Hugo Boss and walking around, marching in step and going to, nah, that's cool, right? But that's not how these things work. Um, this is like combustion. Like, the conditions have to be just right, and then a spark will kick off, and then the kinetic energy will spread, the event will expand, and what'll happen will happen. where it happens, it won't just be one time. It'll be everywhere. 100th monkey. Okay, so back to the issue. Is Kanye authentic? It doesn't matter. Because the Jews were going to create a controlled opposition because they are aware that there's always an element aware of them, and that element would inform the masses out of natural instinct. Okay, if a barn is burning, you tell everybody, look, the barn is burning. So the Jews have been doing this for thousands of years. They know that there is this element, the Aryan element, National Socialist element, swastika worship, whatever, that turns the wheel of the big design in response. And so they have also known that to nip that, to get ahead of that, their tactics have evolved to take control of that unit or be a glass ceiling for it. And so, yeah, if it wasn't Kanye, it was going to be somebody else or this person or that person or whatever. So this wasn't like, it doesn't matter that it's Kanye. Okay? What matters is that we moved the timetable forward, that our efforts sped this up, because now there is a mainstream movement with popular faces backed by money naming the Jew. And why is that? Well, that's them trying to take control of the political narrative. Well, to what end? Okay, so that if and when the new conservative new Jew naming party comes into office, it will be threatened by anything further right than it. In other words, it's willing to make secessions and compromises with Jews and Shabbos that we won't, because we understand the nature of the problem and know that it keeps continuing on because of exactly groups like this that are coming that people want to follow because they're famous or influential. It's faggot nonsense, but that is the world that we live in. There are the masses and the fear of the unknown and the fear of being alienated, being on the outside, and so people are going to do what they think is cool or right or what everybody else is doing. Okay, got it, great. So the plan was always that once the Goy started to find out, we had to put, me talking as a Jew here, once the Shabbos find out or start to become aware, then oy vey, we better have some kind of platform party that they can all vote for. And then they'll be the authorities. And then if guys like us want to run the movement, we have to bust our way into this party, this club. So it shouldn't have to work like that, but that is what's happening. So, okay, I'm just going to skip over a bunch and get to the end because I feel like I'm waffling. This party is going to take office. They are going to set the new standard for Jew naming and what to do with Israel and how to deal with the Jews that have been a problem. And there might even be a little bit of punishment to satisfy some of the bloodlust of the American people. But then it's going to go back on the slow burn and shift all of its focus on extremists and terrorists. If it was a communist win, then the Bolsheviks would be lining up Antifa against the wall. And if it's a faggot, a fake Natsock win, then we're going to have Kanye and Jon Stewart and Ollie Retard, all these guys line up, guys that believe in National Socialism against the wall. War makes for very weird pal. It's, yeah. So, get ready to be hunted, guys. They fed you a bone. Oh, look, celebrities are naming the Jew. We must be on easy street. No. Nope. Get your affairs in order. If you were looking at land, buy it. If you were looking at a motor home, get it. If you were looking to relocate, do it. Now, go. Um, Stock up, be prepared. Remember, be prepared. Um, be vigilant. Don't don't rush head. Don't be prepared to be both able to survive with very little from the outside world for a while and be ready to move if you fucking have to. If it hits the fan like in your situation and you have to move, then make sure that you're able to move even if it's a backpack and boots, brah. Because we did our job. We still have to do it. Oh, we're not over. But acceleration is the only way forward. We hit the gas. We've accelerated. They've given us a clown party. They've given the masses a clown party. Look, we were never going to wake all of them up, and they're never going to get all of us. So, our acceleration efforts, if you want the payoff, mean that the timing is out of sync with the fake leadership that they want to present us, and it's a little bit uncanny valley. People aren't buying it, so the masses are shifting in our favor a little bit. The balance is, oh, this whole thing seems a little bit too ridiculous. What is that? Gonzo outfits, pro wrestling, Alex Jones, flat earth. Like, this is beyond the pale. This is too much. And they're going to kind of start to step away from the narrative. And once they do, then they start pattern recognizing. It's going to work in our favor because we bumped the magic trick. We made, we lifted the curtain just a little bit. And now what they're going to do is they're going to accelerate even faster to compensate for our acceleration. And they're going to slip. They will, because look at the nature of who we're dealing with versus what we're about, where our motivation lies, and what. So yeah, the foundation, the cornerstone's been yanked out. Okay, this whole thing's wobbling now. It's going to come down. But when it comes down, it's going to try to land out of pettiness and out of self-preservation, land on what we do next, meaning the progress that we make. Because those of us in this unit, I keep doing that, those of us in this movement know, like I said, we got to the end of the process. A lot of us figured it out. We know that after you name the Jew, you also have to build a new society and not let the Jew in anymore. And if you're a doer and a thinker and a real person and all that, then you start doing both, okay? So, like, yes, you name the Jew, but also you get your fucking farm going, right? You tune up the fucking 4x4, right? You network. you dust off a couple things and lube them up. So, is Kanye real? I'll tell you right. Well, no, I won't tell you. I'll just say it doesn't matter. I'll say that, look at it like this. The public is becoming more aware of the Jew as the source of the problem. The problem is getting worse. The public is going to react. The Jew intends to be the one to give them a way to react. They're going to offer this solution. They're going to charge them out the nose for it, too. The Jew will do such a bad job selling the solution that not very many people are going to take. Some will, but not very many people are going to take it. And then the ones that are left that don't take the solution will either be A, us that are already here, or B, everybody that's coming over to us. So, like, if you want to look at numbers, we're going to win. If you want to look at metrics, we're going to win. If you want to look at chess, we're going to win. If you want to look at the Bible, we're going to win. So don't sweat it, but don't false worship idols, okay? You can only have one master. So what you worship is your master. Don't worship niggers, don't worship kikes, don't worship the economy, don't worship comfort, don't worship popularity. I'm not going to tell you what to worship, but all those things, they're shit. Don't waste your time. I worship my God, and I worship the, what is it, the pantheism, the world that He put me in and made me a part of. And I worship that collectivism that God put inside all of us. There's God in me, and there's God in all of you, and I worship that. I worship, the Trinity. Not exactly, I'm not going to get into it. But if you're still paying attention to the mainstream narrative, which is what you're doing, okay? If you're watching the feeds, if you're watching Fox, CNN, if you're Alex Jones, all of this, and then if it's the alt guys, if it's Tim Pool, whatever, it's still the same fucking media. It's still the same Jewish spell casting. I'm going to repeat something I said the other day. When a guy told me, he said, we're on Telegram to get people off Telegram. I'm only on social media, the internet, YouTube, GoM TV, to get people off these things. I'll be gone soon. Like, well, we'll see. But we don't want to be sitting, watching, waiting for whatever popular people are going to do, and politicians in response, and governing agencies in response. We want to be doing our own thing. And then if somebody wants to come over the hill and take it from us or kick over our sandcastle, then we'll show them what men are. Don't sweat this Kanye thing. Just keep naming the Jew and start building the world that you want to live in. Be prepared to lose things that you don't need, and appreciate the value of things. You get it. I've said enough. I love you guys. God bless.